else. And I'm just trying to, again, wrap my head around this idea of being able to rent out your home as basically an event center, and whether that is something that should be allowed, because apparently in one city it is. And we're talking about the city of Tacoma, and we're talking about Desmond Trufant's home in Tacoma, which overlooks the Narrows Bridge. I've seen pictures. It looks like an incredible place.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, with a beautiful view in a very nice neighborhood. One of our listeners, Nancy, texted me and she said she walks by there every day. And so I guess our question would be, what would you think if your neighbor started using their house as a for-profit event center? And really, there's nothing that you could do about it. And that's essentially what we're finding out about this large luxury home called Sunset House. It is listed as a vacation rental property. It is on Airbnb, but it's also marketed online as an event space, and it's rented out for birthdays, weddings. If you have a watch party, you can rent it. If you have a big charity event, which Desmond Trufant said he's had there, and he's raised $150,000 for underprivileged kids in Tacoma. Paul and Doug tell Fox 13 News, yes, this property is a nuisance.
It's a party house, and that's what it is.
Just basically one big attraction for illegal activity.
Okay.
Wow.
We hadn't heard that part
Wow.
Until today. And
Wow.
again, this is Fox 13, Lauren Donovan reporting on this. And this guy, Doug, says he has seen some pretty disturbing things happening.
I was walking down the hill and saw a couple openly fornicating right there. She was on top of him. Smell fentanyl when I've walked by before.
I got to call shenanigans in the last part.
No.
Okay, hold it.
Go ahead.
Is this true?
Okay, there's no way you're smelling fentanyl from 30 feet away on a sidewalk. That's just not happening.
That sounds like a bit of an exaggeration.
Outside. So you were close enough to the folks smoking the fentanyl. And outside, you're not smelling that. One. Two, let's talk about something. It's $4,000 a night, everyone. Now,
okay, split up by a whole bunch of people with money. I don't know that you're going to be able to keep everything that you want out of there just because it's $4,000.
Let's go to the very beginning, because I want to make sure that people understand where I'm coming from. In my own neighborhood, Ursula makes fun of me. Y'all know I don't want extra cars in front of my house. I get a little bothered.
Yeah, and you live in Tacoma.
And I live in Tacoma. When there's a little bit of, because my neighbors, they like to do a little karaoke on the weekends, and they have friends over. So I do love my neighbors, but sometimes I get a little irritated.
Okay.
So I want to tell you guys, I personally wouldn't want it in my neighborhood. I wouldn't want an Airbnb in my neighborhood. Now that's me.
This is happening much more often.
Right. So in this case, this is not illegal. And the problem is when you start getting sound bites from people like this, that's a problem. The fornicating, the fentanyl.
Well, here's another
stop
neighbor.
it with that.
Okay, here's another neighbor. I mean, we don't know because we didn't see it, but these are neighbors who are claiming this is what they've seen. Another neighbor, Kevin Johnson, says all the cars that are in the neighborhood is simply unacceptable. He says the fire department has even acknowledged that emergency vehicles cannot get to the street with cars stacked on both sides.
Shut it down. He did not come around the community and ask us if we wanted a party event house up there. He didn't discuss anything with us. He is... It's really become a nuisance, and it's not fair to us.
So for his part, Desmond Trufant says, the area is very popular, and he points out that traffic issues existed before he even bought this property.
And I get it. I get it. You don't want congestion and things like that. I understand. But my issue is to just blame the Sunset Estate for something that's been an issue since all these people have been living here. That's just not right.
He also points out what he's doing with that home is legal.
Is it people having fun? Yeah, but it's all within the rules of what the city is telling me to do. So I didn't make up the rules. I'm not above the law, so I'm just a businessman investing.
Okay, so the city of Tacoma sent Fox 13 a statement, and said, yes, Trufant is allowed to host events there. Under the current Tacoma Municipal Code, any owner of a home in a residential zoning district may, with a business license, engage in the business of short-term rental of their whole home without ever self-occupying that home, and general parking on residential streets is not restricted. The city has investigated complaints about events held in rental houses from a code perspective and associated parking from a traffic, fire safety, and Americans with Disabilities Act perspectives. The city is not currently aware of any rental homes that are not compliant with applicable codes. So either the code is not strict enough, or, hey, get used to it. Suck it up, Buttercup. As you like to say, you're going to see more of these.
Well, you are.
Where do you fall?
This is where.
So this is you just said you don't even like it when one additional car is in your neighborhood.
Because
you don't even like karaoke in your neighborhood.
But it has nothing to do with whether or not this is legal or not. There's Airbnbs everywhere. Okay, there's Airbnbs everywhere. I'm just telling y'all that I wouldn't like it in my neighborhood. And so y'all make fun of me for liking my HOAs.
So should the code change? Should there be more of this is happening?
Then get rid of Airbnb. Get rid of Airbnb.
No, that's not it. You just say there's a maximum number of people who can be in the home, or that it cannot be used for events like weddings.
No,
supposedly Airbnb has rules. No one follows them.
So you guys are falling into this. How many people can be at this home? So without an HOA in this neighborhood, how many people can be at Nick's house? Nick has a big house. He has a 5,000 square foot home or 8,000 square foot home. How many people can be at his house? You can't start to just pick and choose on these rules. Again, I was just being honest with everyone by saying I would not want it in my neighborhood. However, there's nothing against the rules, and getting sound bites from people saying, I seen people fornicating on the sidewalk and I smelled fentanyl in the air. Stop it.
Well, someone just texted in and said, my friend is a Metro bus driver. He can smell fentanyl from the back of the bus over 30 feet.
And I told you guys, no, hold on. I told you that my buddy who drives for Metro smelled the fentanyl on the bus. On a bus.
Enclosed environment.
Not outside.
It's like vapor.
Okay, well, I want to hear from you guys. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. If this is your neighbor, if you are living here, what do you want? If one of these houses pop up in your neighborhood, I can tell you right now, I'd be furious. I would be fighting to change city code.
We also live in a society.
Do what you want with your property.
Are you guys ready for this? We also live in a society where people didn't want the character of their neighborhood ruined by having different types of people live in it. So when it comes
you speak of the HOAs. You want your neighborhood to have a certain flavor. Because
I want my neighborhood to have some rules.
Yes.
And in the covenants is not going to have any of those things in the covenants. I want to live in an HOA where you can't have your broke down car on the street for 4 weeks at a time. Yeah, I want that.
So these neighbors don't want to have cars stacked on both sides of the street, parties happening all night, people doing whatever. I get it.
So then get rid of the whole Airbnb thing model.